Ave Maria, this is Friar Roderick here for AirMaria.com, and we're here with Peter Wolfgang at the Connecticut State Legislature. How you doing, Pete?
I'm good, Friar Roderick. Thanks for speaking with me today.
It's good to be here. And what went on today? You had a rally and a lobby day, right?
Yes, the Family Institute of Connecticut, we held our pro-family rally and lobby day for 2008 today at the state capitol. We started with a rally on the steps of the state capitol on the podium, lasted for about an hour or so. We had a few speakers, legislative speakers and clergy speakers, as well as myself. And then following the rally, we processed into the legislative office building next door into this room, where I talked in more detail about the issues that we're lobbying on at the state capitol, and we handed out packets of information. And then we had about 125 people here today, and then we sent them off to go meet with their legislators.
Yeah, well, it was a very vocal group. The rally was very energetic, so it was a very good success, I'd say.
Yeah, I was really happy to see that. We didn't know what to expect in terms of numbers, and what I was comparing it to was the last even-numbered year, 2006, because, our opponents, they tend to only go full-court press for their issues, pushing, for instance, the redefinition of marriage, same-sex marriage, and other attacks on faith and family in odd-numbered years, off years when there isn't an election. And when they do that, more of our people come out. So in the even-numbered years, when the attacks are more sort of insidious and incremental, it's harder to turn our people out. We had a rally 2 years ago around religious liberty. It had to do with Plan B, and the man who was then state victims advocate came out and testified against Plan B, and then people were demanding that he resign. And so we had a rally around that, around the idea of religious liberty 2 years ago, and we only turned out about 50 people. So that we turned out 125 today, I think, is a huge improvement over 2006, which is the most comparable event we've had to this today.
Yes, well, you had, call it incremental year, but you actually have many pieces of legislation going through the Senate now, right?
We are involved in more pieces of legislation. I've been up here testifying on more bills than Family Institute has ever been involved in before. We have
how many is that?
6.
Wow.
Well, kind of 7, because one bill, on sex ed, there were 2 different bills. But, essentially, there are 3 good bills that we're trying to pass, and there are 3 bad bills that we're trying to defeat. Right. And the 3 bad bills are a transgendered special rights bill, which has already made it through Judiciary Committee. Wow. A bill that would legalize out-of-state, it would force Connecticut to recognize out-of-state same-sex marriages, and it would create a tax credit that would go only to same-sex couples and civil unions, which we did defeat in committee, but we're concerned that could pop back up as an amendment. And also a bill that would give $1 million to schools in order to do comprehensive sex education to children as young as 5th grade. Those are the 3 bad bills that we're trying to stop. The 3 good bills that we're trying to pass, first and foremost, is a parental rights bill that would protect the right of parents here in Connecticut to homeschool their children, a bill to create a task force to study the root causes of fatherlessness in Connecticut, and a bill to raise the age at which a minor girl must receive counseling before obtaining an abortion.
Well, this makes sense to me. They're all very straightforward and very much what you expect society to do for the family. And it's kind of strange you have to work so hard to defend that.
Well, we've seen a theme throughout these bills, both the opposition to the good bills and the push for the bad bills. And the theme has to do with our children. Our opponents, this is a very long-term strategy they're pursuing. They're pursuing almost a sort of war of attrition. And their feeling is, we're not getting same-sex marriage right now because of you folks, you bigoted adults, but your children, why, they're much more enlightened because we're indoctrinating them in the schools. So in another 20 years, your children will give us what you guys are stopping us from having. Right. So we've noticed this. We've taken note of the fact that they're targeting our children through the public schools, through things like sex education, and in other ways. And so we're combating that. We're fighting against the sex education bill. We're fighting to raise the age at which girls must be counseled before obtaining an abortion. We've started a youth group IFIC, an entirely new youth wing of the Family Institute, and it basically is the next generation, right. And it's a lot of hope for the future. The future does not belong to what's sometimes referred to as the soft bigotry of low expectations. Folks right. who expect so little of our youth. You see this on the sex ed bill. Well, they're going to do it anyway. Right. The kids, youth is made for heroism. It's made right. for idealism, and the future belongs to the sort of young people who have come out for our new youth wing.
Well, that's great. Yeah, it was Chelsea. She got a big reception there from the crowd as she spoke at the rally today. So it's very exciting.
She was very impressive, and I think the future belongs to young women like Chelsea Rankin, young women and young men who believe in the founding values of this country, believe in God and country, believe in their faith and their families, and are willing to rise up and speak about it.
What would you say about the need for speaking up as a Christian? Say, as a lot of people who are pro-family are very much involved in faith and church, and would you say that the idea that separation of church and state is the dogma that people make it out to be, or?
Right. Well, separation of church and state has been misunderstood and misconstrued as a battering ram against folks like us, people of traditional values, as a way of saying you have no role in the public square. This stuff you believe in involving God or Jesus or church or whatever you're into, that's okay in your churches. That's okay if it's a sort of private hobby, something you do in your spare time. But for goodness sakes, don't bring it into the public square. Don't try to influence our culture, our politics. You folks have no say in the public realm. And this is, we've always had a say in the public realm. This country was founded by God-fearing people. And you really cannot understand American democracy apart from its roots in Judeo-Christian morality. So we're here to take back what always belonged to us in the first place.
Well, that's great, Pete. You're doing a great job, and we just love what you're doing. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Friar Roderick, and thank you, AirMaria.com.
Thank you, Pete. God bless you. This is Friar Roderick here for AirMaria.com. God bless you.